I was screaming the whole time. Like when Leclerc went past the pit, and I realized they weren't, I was screaming. When Hamilton zoomed through, I was screaming. Like when Crofty was screaming, I was screaming. Like honestly, the whole time I was just jumping up and down. Like
That's
kids were
when you
talking
know.
to me, and I was just grabbing them, like watch, okay. But it was great, man. I loved it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CouchRacers. We're a new channel. We're an F1 channel, and I've got my very good friend here, Nate. And really, we're just two passionate fans from Australia, just talking F1 content from the couch, which is why we're called CouchRacers. So let's just get into it, Nate. Apart from Silverstone being probably the best race I've seen in God knows how long, should we just launch into F1 haiku review?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So mine was new Victor enters, double points delight for Haas, Sir Hamilton, sir. So I'll run you through. I'll run you through my haiku. New Victor enters. So I was delighted for Sainz. Honestly, I really am. But there's this little voice in the back of my head which thinks, was this the way? I mean, I'm sure he would have taken any win, but was this the way he wanted to be won? Because in many ways, you could say it was almost handed to him. So if it wasn't for his mistake, Verstappen got in the lead, but then Verstappen had a puncture. But before that, Verstappen was gone, right? In many ways. And, Sainz was barely hanging on. And Leclerc was faster than him with a broken front wing, missing an end plate. So for me, it's almost like it was handed to him in many ways, with Ferrari completely ruining the strategy. I don't know. Again, we'll come into that. But it was really handed to him. And there's a part of me that's like, yes, he's the victor, but all the conversation has been around how Ferrari really just messed up the strategy and how Leclerc was driving on another level. And it's almost like, yes, Sainz's win was fantastic and we'll take it, but it wasn't the best opportunity. It was a missed opportunity. So that's, a new victor enters, but a part of me thinks, is this the way he would have wanted to do it? I don't know. Beyond that, sorry, Karen. Yeah, go hit me.
No, but I mean, do you think that he's upset about the win?
No,
I reckon it's good to get it off
I don't
your
think
back.
he's upset. Yeah, I think no matter what, but it's a shame. Like I love Sainz in my F1 fantasy. He is my number one driver, right? He was my main pick.
Oh, I think you meant in your fantasy that you have at night.
Yeah, in my fantasy, in my
your
F1
dreams.
fantasy.
Yeah.
And I need to check that, by the way. And so I've really thought, like, especially after last year, he beat Leclerc, but seeing Leclerc drive this car and him being really the fourth, the right foot forward for the championship, and then seeing Ferrari sacrifice Leclerc to the wolves, essentially, to let Sainz win it. Surely they should have known that this is how it was going to happen. Like, surely they should have known that Leclerc would not be able to hold off two freshly pitted, really fast cars. Hamilton right behind with the new set of tires, been driving like an absolute god, which is why he's in there in my haiku, Sir Hamilton, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really confusing for me.
I'm totally with you. Probably not the ideal way for him to get his win. I mean, the fact that, one of the biggest controversial parts of that race, especially with their strategy, was, there was maybe 5 laps where Leclerc was behind him with damage. And everyone's like, move, like let Leclerc through. And he knew that, and he got told, you got to hit these times for us to keep you up front. And even those times was just times to match what Verstappen
exactly. But why are they even talking times? Like, the guy behind is saying, I'm much faster. Yes. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to get stuck into it because I'm sure everyone's saying it.
Oh man, it's huge. It's part of my haiku as well. But I think it's not ideal for Sainz in terms of getting the win, but I think he's just gonna take it. He hasn't got a win under his belt, because at the end of the day, half the people that follow this won't know which win was what. So he gets that tick, he's good to go. So I agree. The whole strategy for Ferrari is a whole different topic, but that's just ridiculous.
It was.
And hats off to Leclerc, but with damage and still
Yeah, an
trying to
amazing
get it done.
drive, and the
Yeah,
defense at the end, amazing. And again, like hats off to Sainz, he deserves it. He is a deserving winner in
yeah,
many ways, but I can't feel like this one. It's a bit bittersweet, and that's a shame. It's a shame for Sainz. It's a
yeah.
shame that the focus wasn't. It wasn't a dominating victory. It's a shame that there was so much, I guess, Ferrari muddled strategy controversy, which has taken away really the value of his win, and that's, I guess, that's what's upsetting.
Can I ask you a
But
quick question? With
yes.
did you have even just a small inkling, like a small feeling or hope that Leclerc could pull off 14 lap old tires against um, fresh new slicks? Like I was like, maybe he could because he's been, he might just be able to pull it out of somewhere. And you know how it takes a couple of laps for the
Hmm.
hard tires to start picking up. So I was
Hmm.
like, maybe it's right in the perfect spot where he could take off and go for it. But did you have that feeling or not? You just knew that they were going to overtake him basically straight away.
Honestly, I was the reverse of you. So I
Yeah,
was like, he's not going to be able to do it. This is stupid. Like, why? Like, why are you leaving the champion? Like, your only shot at the championship,
yeah,
you're leaving him out there to dry on used hards with fresh softs behind you. Got, what is it, 10, 11 laps to go, whatever it was.
mm,
Um, but for me, what was really disappointing was really afterwards, I saw how good Leclerc was driving just by defending
mm,
behind for
yeah,
however many laps he was able to do it. Like the guy was driving like a man on fire, honest to God. And I was like, my God, like maybe he could do it. Like with these hards, maybe he could
mm,
do it. But
yeah. Okay,
yeah, just
yeah.
disappointing.
I'm glad to hear that you
Disappointing.
felt the same way. But okay, sorry, man. Your next point.
Move forward, double points delight for Haas. So double points delight for Haas. Obviously, I was really happy to see Michael Schumacher coming in eighth, and just being top 10. He's finally popped his points cherry, so to speak. And Magnussen as well coming in 10th. Both drove really, really good. Managed to stay out of the like lap one carnage and all the crazy stuff you saw on the onboards. And Michael Schumacher, I don't know. Is he brave or is he stupid? I think he's brave, just like his dad, putting it all on the line. For essentially what
Bro, I
everyone's
was so
just like,
nervous.
just take the
I,
point,
I
just
was
take the
so
point.
nervous
So,
for him. Yeah, yeah. There
oh,
was a turn where they got close, hey, like super close. Where I was like, ah, man, he'd probably lose a seat. I reckon that he would
mhm.
lose a seat if he gambled and crashed
And then
out.
it didn't pay off. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, he would be
yeah,
one step closer, one more argument with Gunther away from probably
yeah,
like losing that seat because
yeah,
he really had it. He had it, but
yeah,
I guess you got to say in some ways that's his strength is he's got his dad's killer instinct in some ways. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you can see it's not the same as his dad's. I think he's much not softer. Softer would be a bad word, but he's different to his dad. His dad was a real hard, cold killer instinct in that ways. But Mick, he's got it. You can see it. He's got it in him, and it's just seeing that little bit of fight against Verstappen. And I think it's really good for him to have a bit of a fight against a champion, because
Mm.
essentially, in
Yeah,
theory,
good
that's
point.
where
Yeah,
Mick is going, right?
yeah.
So I
Fingers
was really
crossed.
happy about that. And
Yeah.
last but not least, Sir Hamilton, sir, amazing race. Just the guy was just putting fastest lap after fastest lap. Again, why Ferrari? Anyways,
Yeah.
and I just really think he deserves all the love he got at Silverstone this weekend because he was amazing to the fans. You could see it,
Yeah.
and B, he battled really fairly in every single one of his one-on-ones, side by side, so to speak. If anything, you could argue he was a bit too soft. Right, maybe Hamilton could get his elbows out a bit because,
He probably doesn't want a repeat of last year.
but
That's all.
he's, yeah, well, maybe so. Maybe he's looking for Mr. Consistency. But I was really, really impressed with Hamilton just flying and that double overtake against Perez
Oh
and
my
Leclerc
God.
as
Did you hear
Perez pushed.
Crofty?
And Crofty doing the announcement of the century. And here comes
Right.
Hamilton. Oh, I loved
Man,
it.
you
I
could
loved it.
feel it.
Goosebumps. Yeah.
WTF1. So Matt was in there. They were out they were doing this camping thing at the back. There's a camping area. I didn't know that about Silverstone. So you have to book and then you have like tents and stuff. I didn't know that. Anyway, they had the whole group there, and apparently they could feel or hear the crowd go crazy when Lewis overtook him. Oh, did the
Yeah.
double overtake. Because to me, when I was watching that, I was like, holy
Oh man, I was screaming.
Amazing. Yeah, because if
Yeah.
you get that in the game, remember, if we get that in the game when we're playing,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
massive
double
accomplishment.
everything.
If,
Yeah, yeah.
even if the AI is at like 22, it's still an accomplishment to do two in a row. But good on them. Like the fight was awesome, right? So it was back and forth. It's unfortunate that he lost out in the end, but man, that was so good, so
Yeah,
good.
Perez, Red Bull had too much, I think, on the Mercedes. You know, they just had too much
Yeah.
straight line. Like that car is just too good right now. You know, I
Uh,
mean, against the Ferrari, it's winning convincingly, and Ferrari is meant to be the second best car. So Mercedes, yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good to see the Mercedes up there. It's good to see Hamilton on the podium. I loved it.
yeah. All right. Well,
But tell
let,
me
let
about your
me
haiku.
yeah, let me share you with mine. Mine we've already kind of touched on. So Ferrari sees red, and it's just purely about the strategy. I mean, that strategy, and everybody's talking about it and how they like. Just I don't understand as a someone who's been watching F1 for about 3 years now. Why would you not in the safety car? Why would you just pit one person when the whole everybody's pitting? Like it doesn't make any sense to me, and it feels like they panicked. They were talking about they had like 11 seconds to make a decision on one of them as well. It's like it doesn't matter. That's your job. You make quick and correct decisions. But anyway, I could see there's heaps of memes. I don't know if you've seen it. Like they took a photo at the end of the race, how all the engineers and everybody huddles up at the garage and have that like little sign there. Had science number
Mhm.
one. They must have just taken a photo, and then Leclerc's face was just like dead straight,
Dejected.
no
Yeah,
emotion. I don't know if you see that. It's the best. But that goes to show how he felt about it, man. He just got put in the ringer for that, in terms of strategy. Poor guy
he did.
drove amazingly well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's I don't think there's much else to say about those guys. And
They're crushing him. They're crushing his soul. You can see it. Ferrari is actually like
yeah,
squeezing the life out of his passion and love. He just looks so just defeated at the moment.
because this is your team, right? And you've got Italian.
Shamefully.
You got the Italian blood running through you. Why is Bonotto and the team so? Why do they act like that? Like how the finger wagging and telling him they don't want to.
I
I don't know.
was
They
I was
can't. They can't.
surprised.
Yeah, and they're like scared to make this team decisions, or what do you call
Mhm.
them? Team
Team
instructions,
orders.
team orders. Like, why are they scared to do that? Who they like they're drivers. They're driving for your team. They understand that they're driving to either win the constructors or whoever, if possible, get an actual championship out of it for Leclerc. Why wouldn't they think about him and prioritize him? It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. But anyway, we can
Yeah.
talk about that all day.
I think just
Um,
to quickly touch on that as well,
yeah,
just because what you said about constructors versus championship,
yeah.
people like great, you win the constructors. That's kind of even though it's the focus of the team in some ways, right? Which is the constructors championship. It doesn't matter nearly as much as winning a drivers championship. Like that's what it's about. That's what people talk about. Who won the drivers championship? Who won the constructors
Oh,
comes second. Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, 100%
Hu-
second, but not. It mean you're saying that it doesn't have a bigger impact. Bigger impact is they get more money. Whoever wins the constructor, right? So in terms of a team perspective, the constructor is the most important. The driver is their driver. Like they don't like. I don't think they really care too much. But the biggest impact is how much money they're gonna get from a construction
But
from
it's
winning
just
the
it's like
constructor.
they didn't even make the most points they could have got for the constructors anyways. So that's what baffles the mind. Like their decision, I think their decision was just poor all round.
Yeah,
Communication, decision making, authority. I don't know. Ferrari's got a long way to go until they're a championship winning team in terms of the team that sits behind in strategy and maybe the people side of things. But
you and you and you'll be
Binotto,
yeah.
amazing CTO, like smart engineer, and that's why they are where they are today. But I guess the question remains: is he like you look at Toto, you look at Christian, you would say they're less engineering and more people management.
People and
Whilst for
process.
me, Binotto is quite heavy technical, but
Yeah,
less in my eyes people, so to speak. And
yeah,
maybe that's what we're seeing here. That's what we're seeing play out.
yeah. Maybe you're
Anyways,
right.
carry on, carry on.
The next one I got on there was a battle for the ages. So that's 7 syllables. Battle for the ages. against last 10 laps against with Hamilton, Leclerc, and my man Alonso. Was that not the most entertaining last 10 laps you've seen in so long? Like, this is
Yes.
where I think this is where I think the new regulations and the new car and the fact that it's all about ground effect, like, and the way that the arrow comes off the car and so other cars can follow. This is proof that it works. All right,
Yeah, on
if
some
they can
tracks, right? It
on
seems
some
to work
tracks,
well on some tracks. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but we're getting there. We're getting there. But like, I agree. I think those windy, like mid-speed corners where you like basically you can shave off a few tenths and then get yourself really close and then re-enter the fight again. So it's like you're not losing out from all the dirty air, which is amazing. It's
Could you
amazing.
imagine Japan?
Oh, Suzuka. Oh, yes, please.
Can you
Yes,
imagine what that
please.
would
I
be like
cannot
if,
wait.
yeah, if it's to do with like long curves and all that, man, Suzuka's the place. Remember when we played that game? Struggled on the controller. I remember that.
Oh,
But
yeah, it's
anyway,
tough.
yeah, but you're right.
What was your
It's
favorite out of a battle for the ages? What was your favorite overtake out of all those
but
crazy
you can't
bits?
look. I love the Hamilton 2-for-1. But I love
Hmm.
what happened afterwards. It's about like not giving up, right? And keep pushing no matter what.
Hmm.
So, Perez and Perez does this all the time. He gets overtaken, he fights straight away. He doesn't let
Yeah, he's
go.
a
He just
battler.
keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which helps Verstappen out a lot, by the way. But Perez and Leclerc's re-overtake the next two corners after that was
yeah.
epic. But the first overtake was great too, because I can't decide because the crowd and Crofty's commentary and just emotions, man, it was all there. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I loved it so much. But I can't choose. But I think that the overtake and then the
Those
re-overtake.
sequences. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely. How about you?
yeah. Nice.
What'd you feel?
I think just because of last year, where Max and Lewis crashed last year around
Oh yeah,
around the
yeah,
around that long, like that corner.
yeah. I don't know
It
the
was it
term,
was
but
great to see it successfully done. Admittedly, you could argue Lewis did a better job this time and you know left the room, so to speak, and hit the actual apex. And Leclerc was aware of what's going on, but I thought that was crazy, crazy, crazy brave of Leclerc to send it after everything that happened last year, plus everything that's happening with his current conditions, hards, plus like broken front wing, which apparently didn't stop him. I just thought that was for me that was like number one for sure.
can I say something controversial?
Go.
Leclerc did it because he's not Verstappen. And what I
What do
mean
you
by
mean?
that is that Verstappen is kind of reckless when it comes to, and he's very like he's good. He fights
He's
and
better than good, mate. He's
yeah,
top.
he's
He's
amazing. But when
top draw.
he's top. Yeah, agreed. I'm not gonna doubt that. But when it
Yeah.
comes to when he fights with people, if you put Leclerc and Hamilton next to each other, they're both very consistent and very careful about how they fight.
Mm, mm.
Whereas Verstappen will see an opportunity and just go for it. Like it's like he knows what he's
That was
doing.
that was last year Verstappen though. That was like this year. I haven't
This year
seen
he
it. He
hasn't had
hasn't
a
sent
chance.
it.
Yeah, he hasn't had a
Yeah.
chance. There's always
Yeah.
something wrong with his car, or he's just way up front. That's what I think. He's just
Mm.
never really had a chance to fight anyone except for with who was it? Was it Shumi he was fighting with at for seventh or
Yeah, which I
Ocon?
think was
Ocon. It
everyone's
was
like,
Ocon.
oh, he pushed Verstappen pushed Schumacher out. I don't think so. I think that was fair because it was around
Oh.
the outside and Schumacher wasn't significantly ahead. So he had right away. I thought it was all very fair battling. Like I actually think the stewards did a really good job. Like it was
Yeah,
all
no.
good,
Yeah,
good
I agree
fights.
too.
Yeah.
I don't think that but there was another fight that I was talking about too, the Ocon and
Ocon
Verstappen. Yeah,
in
and then
Silverstone.
yeah, and then Ocon
Oh.
ended up giving up because he couldn't fight anymore. He fought for a bit, and it was just before his car broke down.
Oh,
Remember?
was it? Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
watch again.
Oh no, I think no, I'm mistaken. Ocon actually overtook Verstappen, then he broke his car.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what happened.
yeah. I think it could
Um,
be something like that.
yeah, and just to kind of flow on to the rest of it, synchronized spinning. So what I mean by that is just the epic thing that happened between Yuki and help me out, Yuki and his partner. Thank
Gasly.
you, Gasly. Was that not the most perfect spin? And then Yuki got angry at him for spinning him out, and then he realized afterwards, and he sent this. Yeah, he put a post up on Instagram saying, "I'm sorry, it's my
Oh,
fault."
did
Blah,
he?
blah.
Good
Yeah, he
boy.
did. Yeah,
Yeah, good.
like you
Good.
can't
Yeah,
you
because
can't deny it. He spun his back
he hit
rear
him.
wheels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he spun. He put too much juice in the back and spun the car and hit him, and that was it.
yeah,
And Gasly had to go out, because of it. And that was it. That was both their races ruined. When really pull each other through, like just stay behind each other and just pull each other through and find a better opportunity. It didn't have to be like that.
yeah,
So
yeah. But I just thought it was funny. There's so many memes about it, about
yeah,
synchronized swimming, and just because
they did the scores for the F1 game, and Tsunoda was complaining that his racecraft was lower than Gasly, and then he goes on to do this. He's like, mate,
have you watched it?
Yeah, it's quality. I like it.
Yeah. Can I tell you why I haven't watched it? I've seen it
What,
many times. Come up
what
on my
makes you
feed.
cringe?
I don't want to see Ricardo score, and I don't want to see Ricardo be. I've got a soft spot for him, man. I don't want to see him just like pretend that he's happy about his score. I reckon he's in the low 80s. I would think.
It was higher than everyone expected. I think for sure,
Really?
for
So
sure. Yeah,
90s?
yeah.
90s?
And Lando was ripping on him pretty hard.
Wait. So he was 90s,
It
and
wasn't in the
Lando.
90s. I don't think it was in the 90s. No.
But was he higher than Lando?
In some areas, yes.
But I have it overall. Do you remember?
I can't remember. I think Lando was higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, man. I don't
so.
want to see that. I don't want to see that.
All right.
What
Should we
about?
move
Sorry,
on
sorry.
to
One more thing. Latifi, what was his? 99.99 was it?
Latifi?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I always feel bad for Latifi. He just walks in there knowing that he's going to get the lowest score and
Poor
he's going to
guy.
suck it up and, play along.
Poor guy. Okay, sorry, man. I just needed to throw that in there.
All right. So you ready for some questions from the couch? So this is where we kind of scroll through internet chat boards and YouTube comments and Reddit and all the stuff, and we look for some cool little comments or questions or statements that people make, and we basically discuss them.
Yeah. I found this
Right,
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this watching the recap of the highlights, of the race from the F1 channel. So Frenzy Bar says Perez could win the championship simply by steadily coming in second every race and let everybody else play the revolving door with first place. I found this interesting. Without taking out a calculator and calculating it all, do you really think that Perez, the way he's driving right now, could keep up the way, podium style finishes? In your opinion? Because to me, I would definitely agree with this. If they don't, they're going to let him hit. They're not going to stop him from driving the way he is, obviously. But if there's a chance to push, Max ahead of him, there'll be team orders to do so, right? So if they don't screw him over like that, I reckon he's got a real chance to actually win. He's been driving insane.
George is a great example up until recently. Unfortunately, like DNF in Silverstone, but Mr. Consistency gets you there. He was just consistently in the top 3, top 4 driver standings. And right now, Verstappen's at 181 and Perez is at 147. So yes, like one more DNF or one more problem for Max, or whatever, something happens that he's not exactly where he's meant to be in the standings, and Perez kind of just, don't forget, Perez got smashed, had to go all the way back. He was running full dead last, and then just through a bit of luck, a bit of strategy, and just amazing time management, which we know Perez is godlike. And there
Isn't
is.
that what
I
he
agree.
did? Isn't that what he did? Isn't that what he did in Saudi Arabia? Not Saudi, sorry, Abu Dhabi. Not last year, the year before. He was coming last.
Yeah, when he got his maiden win is
he got his
yeah. That's classic Perez.
And then he was he didn't have a team to go to after that. It was that race, I think. It was that race, and the way that he came back is what gave him that seat, because Albon got kicked. So that's typical, man. I think we got to put our money down. If Perez is at the back. There's a good chance he'll get podium. It just seems
Yeah,
like
all
it's
right.
his style. It's his style, man. He loves it, and he does
He
really
does. I
well. I
mean,
think that's what pushes him.
yeah, it's good because you can do those big drives from the back, because you normally get so much clear air, which means you can just funnel your way forward, and a few things fall your way, and you're on hards. You can be in
Yeah.
a really competitive position towards the end.
All right. Well, we're saying
All
it here
right,
first. Perez for the championship, then.
Perez for the championship. No, that means I'll lose my money. I'll lose my bet.
I'll put my money
I
on
got
him
to
then.
bet with Ferrari. All right, so who's this? Le Patron. This race was full of surprises throughout, and you couldn't stop watching for a single moment. The top 6 finished with 11 seconds on the leader, while the top 10 were within 24 seconds. Finally, the smooth operator, Carlos Sainz, got a win, and I have never seen so many drivers fighting for the podium without making contact. Agreed. I thought they were going to crash. The best race in F1 after a long time without any interference from the FIA. Agreed, Le Patron. FIA, great stewardship. They were just like, you know what? Everything's been relatively fair. They'll sort it out. And I think that was a good philosophy because it worked well because it gave us the best race. Imagine if they were handing out penalties afterwards. Like imagine if Checo got a penalty for pushing Leclerc out and then pushing
Oh,
Leclerc out and
that'd be
then
an uproar, bro.
Max got one for Schumacher. Like, this would have been nah. I really enjoyed the way they did it, and because of that, I would say probably one of my favorite races of all time, if not top 2, top 3.
The problem is, though, Jules, when it comes to the FIA, it depends on how the drivers are driving. If the drivers they're the cause of the accident in the first place, right? Sorry. Then that's when the stewards would normally jump in and give you penalties. They drove so clean, in my opinion, that it made it easy for the FIA not to
Yeah,
get any penalties. I mean, there was a few in there that like you said, where
but they're
Hamilton was
borderline.
yeah, very borderline. Like they get pushed off a little
Mm.
bit, but then they can recover really quickly.
Was there anything else in that question? I think that was it, wasn't it?
Nah, that's it. That's it for questions. We can go into more, but I think
All right, F1 meme hero. I love this. So there was some amazing content that came out from the God blessed internet, and like always, F1 they always deliver some amazing content, some emotionally damaging content as well. But you go first. Show me yours.
Man, this was, if you have a look at who actually put this up, this is from the AlphaTauri. I mean, come on, it's good, and what do you call it? It's good that they can laugh at themselves, because at the end of the day, what are you going to say to that? Your two drivers are, they screwed each other over. There's not much you can say to it, and the fact that they can kind of make fun of themselves and make a joke, it just made me laugh. It was perfect.
That's good. I like that one.
Perfect.
I like that.
We also have this. It says they didn't box me during the safety car, and I had 3 cars behind me on new softs, and just because Max's face is like, "Damn, man, I'm sorry, that would never happen to me," and of course it happens to Leclerc. So
he's just so unfortunate, and just on that point, I really feel like Leclerc needs to start owning his own strategy, like Carlos did. That was the main difference between Carlos and Leclerc. Leclerc didn't seize his strategy and just start like he just needs to because Ferrari they don't have it. So I think
they have the drivers have it. The drivers have it.
The drivers have it, but not the strategy team.
Not the strategy team, and the car's there. I reckon the car's
the car's beautiful. Yeah.
There was some consistency issues. What in the
last few races,
3, 4, something like that. Yeah. Now it seems like it's all good after that race.
Vediamo. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
Vediamo.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was honestly this was me and Sonia. Where I was screaming the whole time. Like when Leclerc went past the pit and I realized they weren't, I was screaming. When Hamilton zoomed through, I was screaming. Like when Crofty was screaming, I was screaming. Like honestly, the whole time I was just jumping up and down. Like kids were talking to me, and I was just grabbing them, like watch me, daddy. But it was great, man. I loved it.
That's when you know it's a good race, man. Makes you jump up and down. Like I remember when there was the crasher was it in Bahrain? The big crash.
Bahrain?
Was it? No, it
Oh,
wasn't
with
Bahrain,
what?
was
With
it?
Grosjean?
Yeah, with Grosjean. It wasn't Bahrain, was
Oh
it?
man,
What was that? It was
no, it was
Bahrain.
Bahrain. It was
Yeah.
Bahrain. It was the short circuit, the mini circuit.
That reaction of like, whoa, or just yelling is what you had, but the opposite side of the spectrum where it was
Oh
amazing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what F1
I'm
does
glad
to you.
this one was a good one. Yeah.
It was kind of, with Joe,
The
it
Rougeau,
was a
yeah.
bit.
Oh, I can't believe we haven't mentioned that. I feel like that's all I've been listening to, so I haven't even spoken about it. But before we finish, F1 Halo, top tier, boom. Glad to see Joe. Well done, George Russell, for
Lightsabers.
looking after your mates.
And
Yeah.
good old Albon too. Good to hear that he's okay.
Oh yeah, of course. He had 50 plus G's in terms of impact.
Yeah, you
50
think
plus
about it,
G's.
man, because
That's
he gets
decent.
bumped, like he breaks, he gets bumped, and then he spins right into the concrete
Smacked again
wall.
and again. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's not fun. That is not fun. But yes, I agree with you
Next
on that,
slide.
mate. What's this?
Oh, so this is my favorite. This again. You can't defeat me. I know, but he can. This was so true. Like this was just so painfully true. It's also like that F1 that meme of that kid sticking the stick in the bike and then going why? Like that's like
Okay,
Ferrari.
I love how you paint a
Just
picture.
so
Uh,
disappointing. They like there have been so many missed opportunities, but yeah, I love this. I thought this was just top quality. Top quality.
Top, yeah, no, that's great, man. They need to work something out. They look like a joke. They sound like a joke. Like I think from now on, at least for the next couple, no one's gonna trust what the guys in the pit have to say for Ferrari. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Like,
the lens is going to be on them. Like, fool me
yeah.
once, like Monaco, fool me once, but fool me twice, like shame on you, kind of thing. So now
It's
everyone's
it,
like really, really
yeah, it
watching.
feels way more pressure on them this time around,
Mm.
even though it has happened in the past. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was just passing. I would say something to you about joking about how crap their strategy was, but now it feels like, yeah, I reckon there's going to be a change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Oh,
has to be
what
right.
in internally?
Yeah,
I don't know,
internally,
man.
like
Ferrari
not
is
even a
pretty.
change, but a move around to show to people that they're not. You don't think so? Too stubborn?
Mm.
Yeah,
If I
okay.
know anything about Ferrari and Italians, and the Ferrari culture that's always been part of the solution, but also part of the problem, is the emotional bit. Like they
Mm.
are an emotional team. They're much more
I
like
like how you're doing the hand gestures
yeah,
where you're like,
like I think Fernando Alonso said it really, really well. He said working for McLaren was very like very
corporate.
British. Yeah, it was
Oh,
very
British.
like you're there to do a job, very
Yeah.
clinical things like process, etc. And then working for Renault was obviously French, a bit more motion, but kind of a balance in between. And Ferrari apparently was the other side of the spectrum, which was real passion, amazing passion and dedication. But with that comes the weakness of sometimes, I don't know, fear or anxiety or something. I don't know, indecisiveness or toxic culture. I don't know what. But yeah, Ferrari's not ready. Their team is not ready. If they can't get proper leadership going where the decisions are being made with authority, quickly, efficiently. Like imagine, I'm not going to go into it. Holy crap. I keep on going into it. I'm going to stop. Let's call it stop.
I'm fixated. Like you've sold me, mate. I was listening very intently
Oh,
on what you're talking about. Well, maybe we save it
I'm
for
still
another
so
time. But
upset.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's your team, man. There's passion in you. I can see it.
Yeah.
Like I could
Yeah.
see the
Too
passion
much.
in you. But yeah, for them to have any chance in making it, they need to change some stuff up because they lost
Hmm.
opportunity, like you said, man. But
Hmm.
great race. I bloody loved it. I hope the
Cannot wait
next
for
race,
Austria.
yeah,
Cannot wait for Austria. Cannot
Red
wait.
Bull Ring. That's gonna be great, man. We got to make sure we
Yeah.
play that. We play that in F20, F1. We got
F1
to make
22.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. All right,
All right,
everyone. Well,
man.
thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, we're a new channel. We're trying our best, and we hope to bring you something
Trying our best.
worthwhile of content.
I love that. We are just trying, guys. Like really
Yeah.
trying.
And not to be too cringy, but a like and a subscribe will always let us know that we're heading in the right direction. So
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. I'm Jules. This is
I'm
Nate.
Nate. See ya.
Peace out.
Bye.
See ya.